This thing is a workhorse. We made it.
Back in 2013, I was running a small fabrication business out of my garage as a side hustle. I was building rock crawlers, custom signs, pretty much anything that came through the door, I was on it. I had a serious passion for metalwork, but I soon realized that passion alone wouldn't be enough to compete with all the shops around me. I started selling handmade signs and furniture on Etsy while still working a full-time job. Nights and weekends were spent fabricating, finishing, packaging, and shipping the products out that I sold during the week. Eventually, I hit a ceiling. Cutting everything by hand was slow, tedious, and inconsistent. I quickly realized I needed a CNC plasma table if I was going to level up, but I couldn't afford one. So I sold my house in California and moved all the way to Tennessee, where housing is much cheaper. I took that equity to buy the parts and built that very first plasma table in my garage from scratch. I studied forums, watched hours of YouTube, documented my own build progress on YouTube as a way to give back to all the people that shared so much with me, and I finished that first CNC plasma table. It changed everything. That first table let my business explode, enough to land on Inc. 500's list of fastest growing companies in the United States. It was absolutely revolutionary. I could cut parts while answering emails, creating listings on the website, and continuing to grow my business. Once that first plasma table was booked 40 hours a week, I knew I had to do something to keep up with the growth. Either I could add another plasma table like the first one, or I could get into laser cutting. The cheapest laser I got quoted, guys, was $320,000. Most of them were north of 600K. That was way out of my budget, and I knew there was no way I could go down that path, so I started digging. Ooh, that's hot. Turns out, most of these machines are built overseas, and most of them are even built in the same factories. So in 2019, my wife and I traveled to China. What else would a sane entrepreneur do, right?
All right, so we made it to Jinan. Seatbelt free taxi. What's up?
Don't tell the Americans.
Wait, we are the Americans.
We toured the factories, interviewed the owners, and started meeting the people that build these machines. That trip totally opened my eyes. They had a lot of strengths, they had a lot of weaknesses, but that was the only path forward for me. The very first machines landed in December of 2019. Then the world shut down. COVID hit, travel froze, and the techs who were supposed to help me finish the build couldn't come. I was on my own. I stayed up all night working with the engineers overseas to finish the builds myself. And I made every mistake possible. Contaminated lenses, $10,000 fiber optic cables fried, transformers wired wrong, arced out electronics, you name it, I did it wrong. But I learned everything. I learned how to rebuild heads. I learned how to replace motors. I learned what kind of transformers you don't want in your machine. I learned how to keep your machine from crashing catastrophically in the middle of a double shift. I learned how to tap into the servo packs and reconfigure them when they go down. I even learned what nozzles you can use that are outside of the specified range to save you on gas. Every painful lesson went into making these machines better. Through all this, I figured out how to manufacture smart. We set up a factory in the Philippines, handling the frame fabrication, precision grinding, powder coating, and building the wiring harnesses. Then we finished final assembly, testing, and service right here in Tennessee. We have the parts in stock to keep you guys going. Every painful lesson went into building these machines better. And that first laser, the one I nearly gave up on, it's still running today. Over 10,000 hours and $10 million in parts cut and shipped. That machine is the blueprint for everything that we build today. At Hero Machine Co., we don't just sell machines, we run them, we service them, and we depend on them. If you're ready to grow, call me. Let's talk about your shop, your future, and how we can build something great together.